Welcome viewers, I am Dr. M. Surendra Nehru, MD, physician, diabetologist. Kindly join me, Quit India Diabetes Campaign. My number 0996 3721 The today question is, why there is so much of stress in the mental stress among the people, and is stress related to diabetes or heart attacks? Is stress safe? Stress is nothing but a misalignment of or malalignment of your attitude or your brain or your thinking to the external atmosphere. Whenever there is a stress, what happens is there will be a large amount of catecholamine release. Whenever the catecholamines go up, what are catecholamines? Are nothing but adrenaline or norepinephrine that are released from the adrenal medulla into the body, which are triggered by the brain. In the brain, serotonin, dopamine, which are released at a different timing, at a different atmosphere, they trigger the increase in the heart rate. Our heart rate goes up, our we'll get a panic attacks, and our blood pressure will go up, and our cortisol levels will go up, and we'll get into either flare phenomena, either we get to frustration or loneliness or anger or restlessness and energy loss. Because of that, what happens? Our insulin will be heavily produced. These are acting on every catecholamine acts on or any carbohydrate receptor protein. This is genetic modification. Our carbohydrate receptor proteins are there in the liver and in the adipose tissue. What they do is they produce large amount of triglycerides. These are released from the adipose tissue, release fatty acid. The glucose gets converted into glycerol. They too join and they produce called as, either it goes into carbohydrate, from there they go into cholesterol, or they go into ketones, or they can go into triglycerides. Because of that, our fat, abdominal fat will go up. As soon as the triglycerides and all they go up, carbohydrate receptor protein goes up, steroid receptor protein, they all interfere in the insulin action. Initially, obese people, they don't have normal blood sugar, HbA1c will be normal. Later on, they develop heart attacks and diabetes because initially these carbohydrate receptor proteins, steroid receptor protein, which are triggered by mental irritability, or triglycerides will go up. So everybody who is having heavy mental irritability or heavy stress, mental stress, the signs are they have poor sleep pattern, daytime irritability, poor interpersonal relationship, and daytime sleepiness, easy fatigability. These people can be made out having high insulin levels. This is called as insulin resistance. What is insulin resistance? Anything that we eat it gives energy. In the name of glucose, it goes to the blood, enters into the cell. This cell, the gate will happen opened by insulin. Insulin will give a signal. Post receptor insulin signaling is lost. So large amount of insulin is produced to make the energy go into the cell to open the gate. The insulin has to produce a long amount. Normal is 2 to 10. In international units, normal 2 to 15. Anything above 16 is high insulin levels. So anything, our insulin resistance is there. Insulin is not only related to glucose. What it does, it increases the abdominal fat. So it prevents the lipolysis, anti-lipolytic. So our triglycerides will go up, our HDL will fall down, our LDL levels will go up. So first sign is low HDL, high triglycerides. It is a roadmap to 30 years later on we will develop either heart attack, stroke, brain stroke, or cancer, or infertility, or you can have polycystic ovarian syndromes. All are linked to one simple thing, insulin resistance, which is triggered by mental irritability called as stress. So mental stress is not a fun thing. If you are again and again, if you are going into this kind of stress, either due to marital relation, financial problem, educational or setback or anything, whenever you feel mental stress, 7 p.m. should be your last dinner, low carbohydrate, 8 hours good sleep, and 10,000 steps. Every person on the earth must walk 10,000 steps, and if you feel more and more mental stress, kindly walk more. Don't depend only on medicine. Your physical activity will reduce the mental stress. Immediately after stress, what happens? Our pancreatic beta cell insulin sensitivity will be lost. So large amount of insulin will be produced, called insulin resistance, which triggers large amount of triglycerides. These cause again high amount of obesity. Obesity causes increased hunger, and this produces a carbohydrate loop. Again, we become fat and obese, and again our pancreatic beta cells unable to produce insulin goes into diabetes. So all this can be prevented. 30 years, 22 years itself we can make out. The roadmap is best test is triglyceride in glucose index test, not HbA1c. Don't depend on fasting blood sugar. Don't depend on postprandial blood sugar, but depend on HOMA-IR, triglyceride index, HOMA-B, fasting blood sugar into fasting insulin divided by 405, called as HOMA-IR more than 2.3, triglyceride to glucose divided by 2 login index is the cheapest and best test available in every nook and corner of India. So best simplest is any abdominal fat. If any Indian girl or woman more than 80 centimeters abdomen circumference, boys or young men more than or anybody more than 85 centimeters of waist circumference, take it as insulin resistance, check your triglyceride index and HOMA-IR, HOMA-B, C-peptide, and prevent diabetes. So kindly join in Quit India Diabetes Campaign. Dr. M. Surendra Nehru, 0996372199. Let it spread to all the small 5 lakh villages are there, mandals are there, and all the states of India, east, west, north, and south. The pattern of food is same. We are having heavy carbohydrates, all processed foods, and we are having poor sleep pattern, and we are having very low exercise. We are not even walking 10,000 steps. Now all the apps are there. You can have exercise bands, or you can use the app, and sleep. Have 8 hours sleep, and 7 p.m. should be the last dinner for every Indian, irrespective whether you have disease, no disease, whether obese or non-obese, you are young or old, from 20 years to 90 years. Every Indian must have last dinner at 7 p.m. The midnight biryani is 2 p.m. cokes, and 2 a.m. midnight alcohol must be stopped by every Indian, irrespective whether you are rich or poor. It is the insulin in the tank that counts, not the money in the bank. So kindly shift your focus and reduce your mental stress. Keep walking and reduce your mental stress. Thank you.